All right, welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. It's fascinating how history often echoes in the present.
Yeah, absolutely. You look back and you think, wow, have we not learned from this?
Exactly. And today, we're tackling one of those echoes, a question that's, well, just as relevant now as it was centuries ago.
Okay, good. Lay it on me. What's the big question?
What happens when leaders, those in charge, let their moral compass, or lack thereof, guide their actions?
Hmm, powerful stuff. And where are we looking to explore this?
We'll be diving into the life of William Wilberforce, a British politician. I mean, this guy was the driving force behind the movement to abolish the slave trade.
Wilberforce, yeah, his story is just incredible. It wasn't just laws he was changing, it was like the whole fabric of society,
Yeah.
going up against deeply ingrained norms and, well, a system that thrived on unimaginable cruelty.
You're absolutely right. Picture this, late 18th, early 19th century England.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
The political scene, let's just say, was toxic. And right smack in the middle of it, we have William Wilberforce,
Really a remarkable figure, huh?
driven by his faith
Yeah.
and this intense sense of justice.
It's interesting how faith played such a central role in his approach to leadership.
Absolutely. What do you think it was about his beliefs that shaped his actions?
Well, Wilberforce was deeply devout, an evangelical Christian,
Yeah, okay.
and those beliefs, they really emphasize the inherent dignity and worth of every single human being.
I see. So a very human-centric worldview.
Yes, and it was actually pretty radical for that time. Back then, many people used religion to justify slavery.
Wow. So Wilberforce was really going against the tide.
Oh, absolutely. He saw it as his duty to fight for the oppressed, no matter how powerful the opposition.
So it wasn't just like a vague notion of doing good. His faith really provided a framework, a blueprint for action.
Right.
How did that translate into his strategies for tackling the slave trade?
Yeah.
What did he actually do?
He was so smart about it. He knew that public opinion could be a powerful force. So he used his platform in Parliament, to shine a light on the horrors of the slave trade.
Bringing it out into the open.
Exactly. He helped organize boycotts of sugar produced through slave labor and, get this, formed alliances with other abolitionists. He was relentless, even when things got tough.
And they did get tough, right? It wasn't an overnight success.
No, not at all. How do we deal with the pushback? I mean, there were plenty who wanted to keep things as they were.
Oh, he was a master of persuasion, that's for sure. He used his eloquence and his political savvy to his advantage, building coalitions, appealing to people's consciences and presenting such compelling arguments against slavery.
He was playing the long game, wasn't he?
He really was. He understood that changing laws, true change, it starts with changing hearts and minds.
So true. It reminds me of something we see all too often today, the lack of conviction. Wilberforce's story, it's a powerful reminder that leadership isn't just about holding a fancy title. It's about having that deep-seated commitment to a cause.
Being willing to stand up for what's right, even when it's hard.
Exactly. Now, let's think about the impact of Wilberforce's actions for a second. By leading this fight against slavery, he didn't just change laws. He shifted the moral compass of an entire nation.
He demonstrated that even the most deeply rooted injustices can be challenged and ultimately dismantled.
It really did.
And it wasn't just about the immediate goal, ending the slave trade, right? He helped elevate the conversation around human rights.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
setting a broader framework for justice and equality.
So powerful. It's a lesson for all of us, isn't it? We each have our own spheres of influence.
Oh, I completely agree. Our families, our workplaces, even just our communities.
And in those spaces, we can choose to lead, to make choices that either support or, well, erode the values we hold dear.
Powerful stuff.
The text we're diving into today, it emphasizes civic responsibility, really encourages folks to be active in shaping society,
Yeah, I love that.
to think critically about who holds public office and to find ways to fulfill their civic duties in a way that aligns with their beliefs.
It's like we're all responsible for steering the ship, right?
Exactly. But how can someone listening actually apply this? What can they do?
Well, it starts with being informed, right?
Yeah.
Understanding the issues, researching candidates, voting in every election. But it goes deeper than that.
Okay, tell me more.
It's about being present in your community, engaging, advocating for the things you believe in, and holding those elected officials accountable.
So it's not just about casting a vote, it's about being an active participant, right?
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that we're not just passengers on this ship we call society. We're all part of the crew, and we've got to work together to steer it in the right direction. And that's the question I want to leave you with today.
Let's hear it.
If William Wilberforce, armed with his conviction and commitment to justice, could take on something as massive as the slave trade, what change can you spark in your own time?
What injustice will you challenge?
Exactly. What legacy will you leave behind?